2 men were sentenced to die for murder. There was no body, no proof, and the man they were accused of killing was still alive. The town was certain, the court was confident, and the punishment was final. Once a death sentence is given, there is no room for doubt, no room for mistakes, no room for the truth to arrive late. Yet, that is exactly what happened. In the early 19th century, 2 brothers stood accused of killing their brother-in-law. Their names were Jesse Boorn and Stephen Boorn. They were ordinary men, farmers, known in their community, not outsiders, not criminals. They lived in Manchester, Vermont. The man they were accused of killing was Russell Colvin. Russell Colvin was different from most people in town. According to those who knew him, he struggled mentally. He was quiet, withdrawn, often confused. He wandered frequently, sometimes for hours, sometimes for days. Reverend Lemuel Haynes, who later wrote about this case, described Colvin as a man easily led and easily lost, a man who could disappear without intending to vanish at all. This mattered, but no one treated it as important. Russell Colvin had argued with the Boorn brothers in the past. Neighbors remembered disputes, raised voices, tension that lingered. Nothing violent was ever proven. No threats were recorded. No injuries were reported. But when something goes wrong, memory changes. Arguments that once meant nothing suddenly feel like warnings. In 1812, Russell Colvin disappeared. No one saw him leave. No one saw him die. No body was found. Days passed, then weeks, then months, eventually years. 7 years went by. No remains were discovered. No crime scene was identified. And yet, suspicion did not fade. It grew. People stopped asking where Russell Colvin had gone. They started asking what had been done to him. This is where the investigation truly failed. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. No urgent search was organized. No serious attempt was made to trace Colvin's movements. His tendency to wander was ignored. Instead, the town waited for an explanation, and when none came, imagination filled the gap. Then something happened that should never have mattered. The brother's uncle claimed Russell Colvin appeared to him in a dream, not once, but repeatedly. In these dreams, Colvin said he had been murdered. He claimed his body had been hidden on the Boorn farm. These were dreams, nothing more, but they were repeated, shared, discussed, and slowly they were treated as evidence. Reverend Lemuel Haynes later wrote that this was the moment reason gave way to superstition. The tragedy was not that a man dreamed, it was that others believed him. The town began to act. A cellar hole on the Boorn property was excavated. Nothing was found. Then, nearby, a dog uncovered bones beneath a tree stump. 3 local physicians examined the bones. They declared them human. At that moment, fear became certainty. Jesse Boorn was arrested. Stephen Boorn was not immediately taken into custody, only because he had moved to New York. But suspicion had already settled on both men. Later, the bones were examined again. The physicians changed their conclusion. The bones were not human. They were animal. This should have ended the case. It did not. By then, belief had hardened. Admitting a mistake would mean admitting the town had been wrong, and people rarely do that. In jail, Jesse Boorn shared a cell with a man named Silas Merrill, a convicted forger, a man who understood how the system worked. Merrill later claimed Jesse confessed to the murder. In exchange for his testimony, Merrill was released from jail. One man walked free. The other stayed behind bars. Under mounting pressure, Jesse confessed, not because the truth emerged, but because hope disappeared. Stephen Boorn was eventually arrested in New York and returned to Vermont. He confessed as well. Reverend Haynes believed Stephen acted out of loyalty. He thought his brother was already doomed, that sharing the blame might save him. Instead, it sealed both their fates. There was still no body, no proof of death, but the confessions were enough. Both brothers were convicted. Both were sentenced to death. Later, Jesse Boorn's sentence was reduced to life in prison. Stephen Boorn was not spared. His execution date was set. Days passed slowly, then weeks. Stephen waited to die for a crime that had never occurred. Then, far away in New Jersey, a newspaper printed a small article. A man matching Russell Colvin's description was working on a farm. A former resident of Manchester saw the notice and went to investigate. He found him. Russell Colvin was alive. Colvin was brought back to Vermont, alive, confused, unaware of what had happened in his absence. The case collapsed instantly. The brothers were released. The charges were dismissed. No apology could restore the years lost. No explanation could undo the damage. Reverend Lemuel Haynes ended his account with a warning. This case was not caused by cruelty alone, but by certainty without evidence, by imagination unchecked by reason. The system was confident, and it was wrong. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe for more true cases of the wrongly accused, because not everyone is found in time.